Thanksgiving, everyone. Welcome back to How to Cake It. I just made this pumpkin pie layer up cake. So let's go back in time and make this whole thing together. Okay, time machine, take me back to yesterday. Okay, I'll see you there. I can't act like I'm diving in, it's too small. It's time to make my pumpkin cake. Now I already have a pumpkin spice cake that I've used to make a pumpkin pie slice. This is a different variation. I want to try something new. So this is the first time I'm going to be using this recipe. The first thing you need to do is pour 6 eggs and 3 cups of sugar into the bowl of your mixer. And then instead of using the paddle attachment, which is what I use for most of my cakes, we're going to use a whip. This is actually similar to my carrot cake recipe. So you can see it's light, it's yellow. You see how it ribbons down? So I'm gonna turn it back on and I'm gonna slowly pour in the oil along the side, kind of like I pour a sugar syrup into egg whites when I make Italian meringue buttercream. Now I'm gonna start to add in the pureed pumpkin. Can you see that? So I'm gonna turn it back on at a lower speed and add our flour spice mixture. Now this looks great, it smells great. Now I'm just gonna give this a good stir and a scrape down. And now I'm gonna divide this batter between 2 9-inch pans. Now what I like to do is just gently tap. And, I usually use a straight knife, but this will do. I like to run a knife back and forth through the batter just to get out any air bubbles. I'll put the baking temperature and time below. I'm going to make a pumpkin pie. I have to close this door because I forgot there's sound. And Helena is getting angry in the kitchen. I hope this isn't too much. I doubled the recipe. We're about to find out. Oof, it is pretty full. Oh, I don't know if I can double the recipe in here. There we go. Oh no, it's spilling out. Are you getting a close-up of the overflow? Well, thank you for that, Eli. So while it's mixing, I'm gonna start to add cubes of cold butter. Oh, yes, go. Do you see it? Oh, I missed. So now I don't know what to do. Do I take some of this out? And I have to start to add half of this water. Let's see. This comes together. I'm gonna do this right on the counter. Now I have my dough, finally. I'm going to cut it into 4 portions. I like to form it into a disc to begin with, which will make it easier to roll. Okay, here's the dough. I'm gonna take it to the fridge to chill. Come with me, dough. So, unwrap each disc. I'm gonna sprinkle down a little flour, roll out a disc the appropriate size. The cakes I made are 9 inches, so I will be using an 8-inch round pan to help me size the discs. And that way I know they'll fit in the cake. So now I'm just gonna dock the pie dough, meaning prick it with a fork and then brush it with some egg wash. Now I'm gonna work on pie shell. Oh boy. I'm completely terrified. And this is not the perfect pan, to be honest. This is a good size pan, but the sides are too high, so I have to be aware of that. Oh God. Please, please be good to me. You've got to try and force it into the pan first so that it doesn't break along the sides. I'm really happy with the way this went. So I have to trim this, and I'm trying to think of a really cool way to trim it. Boards, I'm gonna lay in these little cutting boards I have in a tart pan. I think that's a great height. I am gonna just dock it on the bottom. Okay. And now I realized I didn't bring my pie weights from home. And we don't have any dried beans, which is normally what I would use to blind bake a crust. So today I'm gonna use sugar. We're gonna weigh it down with sugar. And the reason we weigh it down is the pie crust would just puff up and create bubbles, and we want it to stay flat so we can fill it. So now I'm gonna take my pie crust, my 3 discs, to the oven to bake, and when you see them, they're gonna look very different. So my pie shell is baked. She's beautiful. I'll take it out. I shouldn't do this, but you can see. Lovely. And now I'm gonna make my pumpkin pie filling to go inside this baked shell. First, you're going to add pumpkin puree, and then I'm going to whisk in 1 egg. Now I'm gonna whisk in some whole milk. I just like to do it little by little so it doesn't slosh around. Okay, and now I'm going to whisk in some maple syrup. I want all of that in there. Finally, it's a bit of flour, cinnamon, ginger, and salt. And now we can pour this into our pie shell. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this to the oven. It needs to bake for 50 to 60 minutes. And you will see her tomorrow. That was applause. I hope you enjoyed that. The cakes are here. They have been baked, cooled, chilled, and now I'm going to remove them from their pans and level them and layer them. I get super excited when there's a cake I rarely bake on set. So after I do this, Eli, let's make coffee and eat the scraps.
Absolutely.
Okay? We'll call Helena too, don't worry. I'm simple syruping these with my brown sugar simple syrup. And then I'm gonna get ready to make some toasted Italian meringue buttercream. Do you think this is loud, really? I think it's soothing. Okay, I am in the middle of making my Italian meringue buttercream. You guys have seen me make it a million times. So I boiled the sugar syrup, poured it into the egg whites. Now I have this beautiful fluffy meringue, which I am gonna torch to give it a nice toasty flavor. I really need to showcase how beautiful this toastiness is. Oh, it's just a thing of beauty. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Okay. It's time to assemble this cake. I have 4 layers of pumpkin cake, my toasted meringue, IMBC. I have my pastry discs, and then this is my favorite part, these caramelized pumpkin seeds, which I think should come in a bag, don't you? First things first, I'm gonna dollop on some buttercream, and I'm going to spread an even layer. Clean up the sides, and this just helps me see the exact size of the cake so I can make sure that I'm laying the pastry disc in the center. It's a little warped, but it's okay. It fits within the boundaries, and that makes me very happy. So now I'm gonna spread on a thin layer of buttercream. Okay, I lied, it's not that thin right now. And now I get to add these pumpkin seeds. And here's where it gets a little tricky. I'm gonna dollop on some buttercream and press it in. I'm gonna try not to disturb them too much. They refuse to be buried in buttercream. I'm happy. So now I'm ready to add another cake layer. And now I'm just gonna make sure that there's enough buttercream on the sides here just to fill in. Now I can start the process one more time. Now I'm gonna just go around the whole cake and perfect the crumb coat. So now it's time to ice this cake, but I ran out of buttercream. Truthfully, I never really run out of buttercream here at How to Cake It Studios, so we had some toasted marshmallow buttercream in the fridge. It's slightly different, it's a different color, and I'm loving it. I think this worked out for the better. Okay, this looks like a great place to place a pumpkin pie. Am I wrong? I'm going to chill this cake so that I can move it to a cake stand. My least favorite part. We're back and it's noisy again. I'm just making a half batch of toasted meringue. I'm not turning it into buttercream. It's just gonna be toasted meringue that I'm gonna top my pumpkin pie with. I just wanted to point out, this is the sugar that I used to blind bake the pie shell. And you can see it pretty much hasn't changed color. Caramelized a touch, but you can keep this and just make caramel out of it. You don't have to waste it. Oh my gosh, I might need another spatula to help me. Yeah, I don't want it to look piped and perfect and I want it to be like abstract. I have some pumpkin spice compound chocolate, and I'm gonna splatter. I'm gonna splash myself. Oh, I love that one. See how it went like, oh yes! Oh, yeah. I love cake. Thanksgiving! I love the way this looks, but I hate the cleanup, which is pretty much true of everything I do. I'm gonna blow some pumpkin pie spice onto the side of the cake, and I don't know how this is gonna work. Are we loving this? Are we liking it? I'm gonna do one more messy thing. I'm gonna add these amazing pumpkin seeds that I haven't stopped eating down around the bottom. Oh my gosh. It's gorgeous. Okay. I don't think I can hold it. I am praying that you all make this cake for Thanksgiving, because you should.